Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Bose is having a Serenity soiree. It was more like the Great Kyle walkout. Guys, this is the recap for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, episode 8 of the season. Bose has her Serenity soiree, and much happened in this episode. Let's go through it. Let's get into it as well. Let me know your thoughts on Kyle walking out, the ladies clocking it, the Kyle Texas PK, that whole thing, what y'all think about it. Let me know in the comments below. I cover all things Real Housewives, Bravo, good pop culture tea. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications if you have. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So, Sisterhood Serenity Soiree. That's what Bose has invited everyone to. Now, before we actually get to this soiree, we see the ladies getting ready, and we see Bose giving a call to her now close girlfriend Dorit. Now, Bose is like, oh, hey, by the way, I had a little chat with Garcelle when Garcelle came over to see how I was doing after my surgery. And Garcelle mentioned there's more to the text with PK. And then Dorit's like, oh, yeah, like, Erica mentioned something like that as well. And honestly, at this point, Dorit is still the last person to hear about the text between Kyle and PK. She's the last person to know. This is her good friend, or she thought it's her good friend Kyle, and her husband PK. It's almost like they're conspiring against her. Like, this is such a awful place for Dorit to be in. And Dorit is just like, it's not even the text, it's Kyle's reaction. And I think, the ladies, us, the audience, we're all with Dorit. We're like, yeah, you know what? It's not even so much about the text. Because when Kyle read her text, it's kind of like, whatever. Like, maybe that last part sounded a little fishy. But let's be real. Nobody thinks there's anything going on between Kyle and PK. But Kyle's reaction is what's so disturbing. Guys, I never knew that someone could bring forward evidence and then the evidence that they brought forward works so hard against them. But here we have Kyle. So she calls Kathy. She has a little FaceTime chat with her, and Kathy is just living life in Italy. And Kyle's like, "Oh, I was there with you." Kyle feels in Kathy like, "Oh, Kyle's having the biggest fight with Dorit." And Kathy is just like staying out of it. Like, you know what? This one, I'm not getting into it. But what does Kyle do? She tells Kathy, oh, between me and PK, it's just, memes. That's it. That's all it is. She's misconstruing what is actually going on here to give Kathy the Kyle version. But me and you and the other ladies know it's not just memes, according to Jennifer Tilly. It's not just memes. It's more than just memes. It's a whole lot of texting about who knows what. All right, so we get to the soiree, and it's already off to a great start. We see Erica in, what is that, like a two-piece, something comfy. I don't know if you would wear that to bed, but it's appropriate for this event where you're supposed to be very zen. You don't need to be all dressed up. Meanwhile, we got Kyle in this, what is this, like a 2014 dress with a plunging neckline. And I'm thinking, like, Kyle, you got the memo for this event. Why are you wearing this dress? Dorit comes in and she's like, is that comfy? Like, Dorit is having a moment with Kyle like she had with Denise Richards. Like, you're wearing that backwards. Is that comfy? And Kyle's just looking at her like, don't even start with me. But honestly, Kyle's the odd one out here. Everyone is like wearing their PJs, or they're wearing like really soft cashmere, like, something fun and comfy. Meanwhile, she's wearing this dress, and it's a little bit weird. Now, I did clock when Dorit came in. She walked in, she was giving Bose a hug, and Kyle just looked her up and down. Here's the thing. Say what you want about Dorit. Dorit is that girl. She got her fashion going on. She looks great. I don't know. Is there a little bit of jealousy between, Kyle towards Dorit? Maybe. Now, I'm not surprised some of these women are flirting with the chef, and we got Garcelle, especially Garcelle, flirting with the chef, and the chef, I guess, is French, or he's cooking like a French meal, and everyone's like, Garcelle, we know you speak French. Of course, you're gonna have the best French. The lineup of these women at this point, they are all single or mostly single. So we went from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think season 1, they were all married, and now season 14, all the women are single. So, I don't know what's going on with Real Housewives, or is this a curse? You get on this show, even if you've been with your husband for, like, 20 years, you then end up breaking up from being on this show. I don't know, it's very strange. So, it seems like Garcelle knows, the company that was hired for the massages. Garcelle seems very chummy chummy with the big, strong men of this massage company. And then Jennifer Tilly was so funny. She was like warning one of the masseuse guys. She's like, "Oh, it's calm now, but it's gonna get crazy sooner than later." So that was really funny. And I'm not saying Jennifer Tilly is a fortune teller. I mean, I think we could all see it. It did end up being a shit show with Kyle storming out later on. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen the memes of Garcelle looking straight into the camera when Dorit walked over. Garcelle was literally just enjoying her serenity, and then Doritos walks over and, they have their little chat about when Garcelle asked Dorit, "How are you?" at the Viper Room. Now, Garcelle and Dorit, I don't think these two will ever be genuine friends. I just don't think they mesh well together for whatever reason, whether it be the microaggressions or Garcelle just not liking Dorit, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I think Garcelle asking Dorit, "How are you?" at the Viper Room, it was like such poor timing after that like heated discussion Doritos was having with some of the ladies. It was poor timing. But here it seems like Dorit is trying to make a genuine effort to let bygones be bygones with Garcelle. And Garcelle, I think here is being genuine, like, hey, look, I went through a divorce. I had little kids when my situation was going on and it was messy. So I'm here for you. Like if I can provide you with any insight, I'm happy to share it with you. So, I don't know if the peace will remain with these 2 later on in the season. We're only, halfway through the season. But for now, it's nice to see them coming together and have a nice moment. Okay, so this text is, making a reappearance, a resurgence. They just can't get over this text. So they're sitting in a group setting, and Bose is like, Kyle, why don't you read the text to me? Like you read the text to everyone. And then Kyle's like, okay, so I think this is how the text went. And then she shares it out loud. But then the part where Kyle said to PK, "And I'm here if you need me." And Bose is like, oop, oop. Like, why are you saying that to him? That's your girlfriend's husband. Like, why are you saying that to him? And at this point, Kyle is just like not having it. Erica steps in, defends Kyle. Look, I do get why Erica is supporting Kyle, why she has a stronger allegiance to Kyle. It totally makes sense. But at the same time, Erica's like, you guys are accusing Kyle of something like she's doing wrong. It's not necessarily that the text was so bad, it's just how defensive Kyle is getting. Like, why are you crying about it? If you just said to Dorit, hey, yeah, I texted PK when I heard you guys were getting separated, and you're my friend, he's also my friend, regardless of what happens between me and you, all the petty drama. Yeah, I'm also there for him. I'm here for you. If she just said something like that, like it wouldn't have been that bad. So at this point, finally, Kyle reads the text to Dorit. At the very end, Dorit is the last person to find out about this text. Kyle reads it, and then she storms off. Bose in her confessional, it's like the louder she gets, the more she protests about it. She's wrong. Like, if you're not in the wrong, you wouldn't be, protesting this much. Kyle cries, she walks away, all the women follow, which I thought was kind of funny. And I think paparazzi, I guess they knew all the women were filming at Bose's because Kyle in the robe, her with Dorit sitting outside. I remember, months ago last year, we ended up seeing an image of Kyle and Dorit in the robes sitting outside. Now, even though all the women went after Kyle, I think hmm, it was very nice to see Dorit just be above it all, be like, you know what, guys, it should be me to be the one to go out there, talk to Kyle. And Dorit just had such a calm presence. Instead of like coming at Kyle, she was like, Kyle, just breathe. Let's just like talk it out. Kyle is still going on about this dumb text and what she meant and how it was about production, this and that. Still, none of it makes sense. And Kyle is just like, "Oh, obviously PK's a brother to me. I wouldn't do that." And Dorit's just like, "Well, if you're a girl's girl, why do I have to tell you? If you are a girl's girl, like, you would just do the right thing, right? Like, I don't have to tell you this." Here's my theory, guys. I think Kyle doesn't want to talk about Morgan. She doesn't want to talk about Maurizio. And so this dumb text drama with Dorit, as much as she, protests, and then after this scene, she took a week off. I think this is the great distraction by Kyle Richards. This is just my theory on it. You guys let me know your thoughts on it. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the beach house scene with Garcelle and Sutton. The Serenity soiree at Bose's house, it was so long and it just felt so drawn out. I feel like they could have cut some of the scenes. It was a lot of back and forth of like Kyle crying, talking to the ladies, talking to Erica. It was just a lot of little pieces. I don't know if it really needed to be that long. But anyways, let's move on to Garcelle's beach house. Sutton's invited over, and I'm so glad the ladies are now talking about it. Granted, it's one on one with each other, but it has to start somewhere. Garcelle is saying, Sutton saying like she's protesting too much, like it's her reaction. And what Sutton brought up is Kyle stormed out. She constantly does this because she thinks it's okay and she thinks she's above everyone. I'm glad they are gonna call out Kyle for this because yes, the show started with Kyle. The show revolves around Kyle. Yes, I get that. And Kyle has shared so much over the years. But there's also been times where other people storm out and Kyle is telling them, just own it. In the words of Lisa Renna, just own it. But then in times like this, Kyle storms out. She doesn't own it, or she's like talking in circles. So that's not fair. And the ladies feel like, okay, we've had enough. Like, you've been doing this for far too long. We've had enough. Look, at the end of the day, Kyle not taking accountability for a number of seasons, she's definitely slid by. But at this point, it's just gotten to a point where the ladies have had enough and they are going to call her out on it. It's just a matter of time. But the problem is, if the person you're trying to get them to take accountability, they keep storming out, well then the convo is never going to get anywhere. So this is TBD at this point. I'm so glad that we had this scene at the end between Erica and Doritos. Since they didn't have much of a serene moment at the Serenity Soiree, Erica and Doritos ended up meeting up and getting facials together. And Erica's just like, but you don't know for sure. And Doritos is like, well, I don't need the proof. And Erica's like, well, I need proof. And Doritos is just like, oh my God, Erica, this is like, you're not in court. Erica is in the middle between her two good friends, Kyle and Doritos. However, it does seem like Erica is more on Kyle's side than Doritos. And Doritos, rightfully so, she feels, kind of down about this. Like, what the heck? Like, All the women are on my side except for you, Erica. Anyways, at the very end, Doritos asks Erica, if it if it is true, would you be okay with it? And Erica is just like, no. Basically, if if the text between Kyle and PK, if it's weird, would you be okay with it, Erica? Erica's like, no. Or if any of this is true, would you be okay with it? So that was quite interesting. Guys, I have been seeing Erica doing the rounds of interviews this week. I feel like the show, to promote the show, each week or each 2 weeks or whatever, they'll get the ladies to do a round of interviews. So Erica, she's back on Chicago playing Roxy Hart, as well she's on, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I saw her on the Sherry Shepherd show. She was on E! News. She was on Access Hollywood. She's making all the big, like the media rounds. And I feel like Erica's thoughts has softened a little bit. She was on the show, she's very much Kyle, 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 but as she's making her media round, she seems like she's more, I see where Dorit is coming from, and Kyle shouldn't have ... dot, dot, dot. So that was very interesting to see Erica change from the show to what she's saying in the media publicly. Guys, this was the episode of the great Kyle storm out. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think? The funniest scene in all of this to me was Jennifer Tilly on the car ride towards this event where she's saying memes instead of memes. And I just want to put it out there. Canadians do not say memes. We do say memes. And that is on the note I would like to end it on. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. I will catch you guys later with more recaps and good pop culture tea. Enjoy your day. See ya.